When I was driving to work this morning, I was listening to another radio station, as we broadcasters sometimes do. What I heard shocked and saddened me.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They're here, nerds.
Wait, is this the group that goes around mutilating squirrels?
You just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Well, at least we found them. Fortuitous, Captain. And now that we have them all together,
you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They make one person go, blah, 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 and the other person go, what are you talking about? And then one person goes, blah, 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 blah.
Hey, welcome into it. The weekend officially beginning, especially if you're listening to this on Saturday morning in our first of 3 airings this weekend. Saturday morning, 5 a.m., Saturday evening, 7 p.m., and Sunday morning, bright and early at 10 a.m. as well. And as far as the lineup is concerned, it constantly is in a state of flux here. We got 3 stalwarts, myself, the host, Jeff, who's constantly running and making sure that everything sounds good and is put together so well.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your hard work over there. And Jacob on the phone, thank you so much. As we record on a Friday, you guys had a power outage downtown, but you said it didn't affect you?
Yeah, not at all. I was very disappointed.
Most people are actually going, yeah. I mean, think about it. It was, 34 degrees or something like that?
I had to continue to work the whole time, but yeah.
It was 34 degrees or something like that when the power went out, so one would think that you might be happy that the heat was still kicking.
That's true. It was nice to have heat. But...
There you go. All right, well, those are the 3 of us. David, you said, is suffering a little bit of a stomach bug?
He says he's down with a stomach bug. He hopes it's not Ebola.
Well, that's what we're all hoping, no doubt about that. Ryan continuing with some Friday things that I do believe has to do with the play, that he was the one-act play that he directed last week. So there may be some changes afoot in the future as far as when we record. Usually we do record on Fridays. We might actually begin to record on Thursdays here if the consensus is that we can do this so that we can include Ryan in there. Josh, of course, still actively involved with the Irwin Brothers and filming the movie Woodlawn. So a lot of things going on in and around with the Entertainment Roundtable. But the 3 of us, I do believe, we can hack it here. Now, let's talk a little bit about last week. Jacob, by the way, did you have the chance to work up the numbers for the Fantasy League? And if you didn't, no big deal.
You know what? I haven't done that. If you'll give me just a few minutes, I'll see if I can get that over.
Well, guess what? You got the vast majority of the show to go. So
yeah.
You work up the numbers, and we'll go to you with the official tally coming up here in just a little while, okay?
Okay.
All right, top 10 movies of the week, The Book of Life. You still wanted to go? You still want to see that? You're just going to wait?
I'm just going to wait.
Just going to wait, yeah. 2.7 million, 45.1. I would tend to think that, obviously, I don't see any chance that it's probably going to stick around in the top 10 for another week. That tells me probably 2 to 3 months, give or take. This thing will be out on DVD anyway, and you'll be able to watch it on demand or Redbox or however it is that you want to get it. Alexander the Terrible, the ridiculously long title that is. Another 3.5 million, 59.2 there. John Wick, 4.1 million, 34.8. Talked about it last week. Nightcrawler, 5.3 million, 19.6. Kind of underperforming. To me, this was a really good movie. It wasn't a great movie, but it was a good movie, and I'm a little surprised it hasn't gone further than what it's going.
People hate good things, Steve. Don't you know that?
Yeah, apparently we've kind of gotten through to that part, haven't we? Let's see. Where do we go from here? Up to St. Vincent. Still have its urge to check that out, but it's mostly because of Bill Murray. And it's still hanging around. It's doing well. 5.4 million, 27 million in all. Fury making the top 5 still. 5.6 million up to 69.4. Ouija didn't fall off as much as we thought.
No, I totally missed that one, didn't I?
5.8 million, 43.3. I don't know how much longer this is going to go, though. Do we know ratings on this thing? Do we know what the people are saying? Well, I know that the critics probably panned it royally, as I remember we talked about it a few weeks ago. They were not big fans of it. But apparently, people are liking this thing because they continue to go out and spend money to go see it. I don't know. Up to number 3, Gone Girl, 6.2 million, 145.5 million for that particular film. And then we get to the 2 films that debuted over the weekend. Jacob, you and I had the chance. What have we reviewed here? Have we reviewed Big Hero 6 on the air?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I'm losing track of what we have and what we haven't actually reviewed on the air. So we did Big Hero 6. That was the number 1 film of the week. It debuted to $56.2 million over the weekend. Interstellar made $47.5 million to make number 2 on the weekend overall. It's made $49.6 overall because, again, a couple of the movie theaters that still do actual film when it is that they're showing these movies, the 70 millimeter, the 35 millimeters, and those guys got a couple extra days head start. So 49.6 there. We did have the chance to go see Interstellar. Did you? Were you able to fit it in last weekend?
I sure was.
All right. Well, Jeff, I tell you what, we'll start with you.
Thanks.
Sure. Put you on the spot, right?
I really, really dug this movie
Okay.
a lot. And myself and a few friends of mine have discussed it, dissected the thing ad nauseum over the week. So my appreciation has actually only grown since I first saw it. So I got to see it on the biggest screen possible at the IMAX. It's some really beautiful visuals and imagery. And it's a Christopher Nolan film. It's honestly the warmest and most emotional of his films so far, because he tends to be a bit cold with the way he shoots things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people seem to misunderstand certain processes of this film, and certain themes and conversations some characters have. So, and they say it falls apart at the end, but I didn't have a problem with it. So I'm going to give it a solid 8.
Okay.
Out of 10. It's worth a look on the biggest, loudest screen you can find, because it is, honestly, this is why, the kind of movie that makes going to the theater worthwhile.
All right. Jacob, agree or disagree?
For the most part, I agree. I mean, it is. We talked about this a little bit. You can't really compare this movie to anything that's really out at all. It's very different. It's really different than, like I said, it doesn't really feel like a typical movie. But overall, I enjoy it. I think the plot is good. It has a Christopher Nolan ending where not really everything is explained, and they don't really wrap a whole lot of things up at the end. But it is what it is. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I heard comments and rumors that there were sound issues, and I didn't notice that and when we watched it. But some people, I was saying that the mix where the music was too loud, and I never really got that. But overall, really enjoyed it. I give it an 8.
Giving it an 8? Okay, so we're looking at 2 8s right here. I will echo what you guys have said. This is what you would expect out of a Christopher Nolan film. And probably the biggest part for me, if we had ended the film right about the point where he went back into the black hole, I think it would have been perfect, because it would have made you kind of wonder, okay, what happened next? Going through and kind of dealing with the whole bookshelf thing, and I understand how it kind of explains something from earlier into the film, and I'm trying to do this without giving a whole lot away. To me, it seemed almost superfluous. I wasn't really... I was kind of sitting through that and going, okay, there's a point here, but I'm just not exactly sure what it is. I know he was trying to explain something. It just kind of fell a little flat for me. I think that part could have been excised, and it would have been a tighter and a little bit better film. So that's probably my biggest complaint overall. Visually, this thing is just flat stunning. This is a beautifully done film. Whether you're talking about what he did in real life or whether you're talking about all the special effects that are out there, it's absolutely fantastic. And most of the little twists when it comes to black holes, wormholes, and time being bent and all that kind of thing, all that stuff seems actually quite plausible. I have no problem with that. A lot of people have problems with the science fiction and the way that they try to explain things. I really don't have a problem with the way that it was explained. It works for me. I can handle that. I do think that it's a great experience. I think that when it comes to the music being a little loud, we saw that during the previews. I mean, the music coming way up and just this loud booming, and then all of a sudden, silence. I mean, we saw that in the previews. I was kind of expecting it to be that way in the film, and it was. So to me, that wasn't a sound problem. To me, that was the way that the movie was done. Right. I liked the movie overall. I give it a 7.5. I liked it a little bit better than I liked Nightcrawler. I just think that it could have been a little bit tighter.
And who would have thought that a couple of rectangular, monolithic-shaped robots could be so cool?
I know.
Yeah, no kidding. And I love the fact that they had all these little different acronyms for all of them, because there were 2 that were working, and then they had the third one that they had to grab parts from.
Right. And there's a cool little, I guess, guest starring role for someone that I had no idea was even in it.
There's actually several of them if you really start looking through it. But yeah, the big one that I know what you're talking about. Once they're through the black hole.
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually a few of them in there that you kind of look at. Wow, they're in the film. Wow, I didn't know that. So yeah, I agree. So quite well done. To me, very much worth seeing. Coming out this weekend, stop me if you want to go see any of these films. Foxcatcher, starring Steve Carell, Mark Ruffalo, Channing Tatum, about a wrestler by the name of Mark Schultz forming a relationship with a sponsor, training for the 1988 Seoul Summer Olympics that year. I've been hearing that critics are liking this film.
I wouldn't mind seeing this.
Okay, top of your list? Not really?
I mean, if I had the chance, I'm going to go see it, but, you know.
Okay, not necessarily.
I'm not going to just go out of my way to see it.
In other words, you're not frothing at the mouth to go check it out?
No.
Gotcha. Jeff, anything?
Yeah, this is one at some point for me.
Yeah, I gotcha. Beyond the Light stars Minnie Driver, among many others, about a singer who's on the edge of falling apart due to the pressures of fame, a young cop who comes into her life and gets her onto the right track. I've heard a couple of people try and compare this to the movie, the Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner film, The Bodyguard. I don't get the funny feeling it's not going to do anywhere near the money that did, and quite frankly, it probably won't get all that great critic response, kind of like The Bodyguard did. And Dumb and Dumber 2. Jeff Daniels, Jim Carrey, Rob Riggle, and more, picking up on the lives of Harry and Lloyd 20 years after the first film. Anybody?
I mean, if I was already in a movie theater.
And every other print of every other film had been corrupted.
And I couldn't find any kind of a decent run of Guardians of the Galaxy again?
And they wouldn't let anybody leave.
Saying, there's just nothing else to watch. Maybe all the other theaters are shut down.
So none of the three of us, really?
Not really.
No.
I understand. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I understand. I when they said that they were actually going to come back and do this, I kind of went, really? They are? Why?
Well, and I've heard just the reviews I've read so far of that have been not good.
Oh, I'm sure. But even on top of that, though, last week we had Jeff Daniels sitting there saying, hey, I'd be willing to go for a third one.
The best review I've seen on it so far said that this would be a great movie about 20 years ago.
Well,
not so
there you go.
Now.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to break any new ground, and I'm sure it'll have a couple of laughs in it. We saw a couple of laughs in the previews, but I'm just worried that that's the funniest parts of the film that you see. You know, that's I think probably the biggest thing to me. Coming out in limited release, The Homesman, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Hilary Swank. Rosewater got a movie called The Toy Soldiers, and a film called Saving Christmas, starring Kirk Cameron. Because of what I do on our sister station, 93.7 WXJ or DJC. I did have the chance to go see this in an early running of it. They didn't even have all the credits and everything involved in it. That's how early it was. It was so unfinished. It's extremely short. I'm talking like it's an hour and 10 minutes. This could have been really done on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox Network, TNT, whatever. This could have been an hour and a half Christmas special that aired on TV as opposed to putting it out there in the movie theaters, and it would have been just fine. It's not terribly great. Kirk Cameron stars in it as a guy who is having a little bit of a problem with the commercialization of Christmas, and it's during a Christmas party. He finds himself outside sitting in his car, and somebody comes out and they start going over the way that, well, actually it's Kirk Cameron that comes out and starts to explain how some of the commercialized things that this guy's complaining about actually work into the whole mythos of Christmas. The message itself is not bad. The movie itself is not great. I'd probably give it about a 5.5 overall. This isn't going to be something that people are going to go back to year after year after year like It's a Wonderful Life. It's just not that good.
See, the issue with your statement about that this could be something on TV is that TV networks aren't going to put something that terrible on TV.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty junky stuff out there, my friend.
That's a good point. They are making a Grumpy Cat Christmas special. So
I heard about that.
Man, I've watched that preview, and I'm sorry.
You can't wait.
I think I'm in on that one. It looks so totally bizarre and weird, and I can't believe it's happening. And plus, what's her name that's doing the voice? Help me out here.
I have no idea.
Really? Gosh.
I remember seeing the story, but we never really kind of had the time to go around to it.
I've read some things from her where she's like,
Oh, yeah, she's the Parks and Rec girl.
Not
Can't think of
Kristen
her name.
Wiig. No, the blonde girl.
No. She's
No?
one of the not one of the main characters. She's
Anyway,
one of, like the
she said this is one of the strangest, most bizarre things she's ever worked on. And she says she thinks that it's working on 3 or 4 levels that what is it, Lifetime is not even aware of.
Oh, my gosh.
So I'm like, you know what? Why not?
All right, let's see if we can't find out who this is. Aubrey Plaza?
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. When is that supposed to air? Do we know? Or do we even know what network it's on? I've heard so little about this.
Yeah, it's on Lifetime.
Lifetime
And
channel?
it's coming up, I think, near the end of this month.
I'm sure it'll probably be aired several more times throughout the course of the month as well. It almost has to be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, all right, Lifetime.
No, I can't believe I'm just like,
Check your local listing.
I can't believe I'm so eager to sort of, I really just want to see it to see if it's.
The strange thing is that to me, the fact that you're interested in seeing Grumpy Cat is not the strangest thing to me. The fact that you want to see something that's going to air on Lifetime is something that I find intriguing.
well, that's who's doing Grumpy Cat.
There you go. Next week, there are a couple of films coming out, which will all be dwarfed by one. Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 1. So I just, the heck with all the other films, none of them matter because they're all just going to get killed.
Any film that is attended next week will be because the Hunger Games is sold out.
It's sold out, exactly. Well, I'm here at the movie theater. I might as well go see it. I can't get into that. Might as well go over here and see this. And that's where Dumb and Dumber 2 is probably going to make their money. All right, we got to get into some movie news here. And when we do, it'll be on the other side of this commercial break.
They do all their own stunts. The Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
Hey, welcome back in, listening to the Entertainment Roundtable here. As we come back to the sounds of David Bowie fame, you will find this somewhere, at least once, in the film Foxcatcher, if you go check it out this weekend, as we come back to a soundtrack song. All right, I couldn't resist it. During the break, went in and looked up Grumpy Cat and the special that you're talking about. And I know that we usually do TV a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and just get into it right now. Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever is the entirety of the name. And Lifetime describes it as Grumpy Cat's a lonely cat living in a mall pet shop because she never gets chosen by customers, develops a sour outlook on life until one day during the holidays, a very special 12-year-old girl named Crystal enters the pet store, falls in love with her after realizing she is the only person who can hear this unique cat talk. There you go.
I know, it just, come on. I know it sounds terrible.
Sounds halfway like a female version of Garfield without the cat eating lasagna all the time.
I know. I'm still trying to understand my fascination with this thing, man.
If you can figure that out, we'll make sure that we put it out here on the Entertainment Roundtable, Jeff.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Into movie news, and first up is Disney, and they're working on some more animated films. Jacob, we know that they're entitled Zootopia and Moana, but what else is really known about them?
Well, we got release dates for them this week. Zootopia is going to come out March 6, 2016. It's going to feature a fast-talking fox who's on the run after being framed for a crime he didn't commit, and he's going to team with a self-righteous rabbit cop who's chasing him to unlock a bigger conspiracy.
So, in other words, they decided not to call it Foxcatcher because we got a film by that name already.
Yeah, already. So it was like, oh, we had to go back to the drawing board.
Also, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
There you
Exactly.
go. Gone.
Yeah. And then we've also getting Moana on November 23rd of 2016. It's going to follow the title character who sets sail in search of a fabled island. During her journey, she's going to team up with a legendary demigod named Maui to traverse the open ocean on a voyage where they will encounter enormous sea creatures, breathtaking underworlds, and ancient folklore.
And eventually found Hawaii.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jeff, over to another Disney affiliate company. This one, Lucasfilm, getting ready to release a movie.
Well,
and
yes.
no, we're not talking about Star Wars. So what are we talking about?
Looks like Lucasfilm Limited's Strange Magic will be a new animated film, and it will be released by Touchstone Pictures January 23rd of next year.
Oh, if they do not get the rights to the ELO song, they are missing out on a great opportunity.
Well, here you go, Steve. According to the press release, Strange Magic is a madcap fairy tale musical.
A musical,
yep,
okay.
Inspired by A Midsummer Night's Dream. Popular songs from the past 6 decades will help tell the tale of a colorful cast of goblins, elves, fairies, and imps, and their hilarious misadventures which are sparked over a battle over a powerful potion.
Okay. Here's the question. Interested in seeing this?
I haven't seen a trailer or anything yet. I've seen the picture.
I saw a still.
A still, so we'll see. It's possible.
Yeah. Jacob, anything? Does it do anything for you?
I'm not dying to see it, but I mean, it doesn't sound terrible. I'd be interested in checking it out.
It doesn't sound like Willow.
Right.
Let's
Well, I
put it
mean,
that
when you're building on the skeleton of A Midsummer's Night's Dream, one of Shakespeare's.
Sure. And it's actually probably one of the more approachable Shakespeare plays.
Right, and
considering I need a interpreter.
Regarded one of his more, hilarious.
Yeah, one of his more comedic plays.
So yeah, I think you're coming from a good place. We'll see.
And using music from about the past 6 decades or so.
That's what it is. It's madcap, man. It's a madcap fairy tale.
Jacob, over to you. We've seen some 6 Rocky movies so far, and apparently we're going to get a spin-off. This deals with a boxer that we actually saw killed in Rocky IV, Apollo Creed. So in this case, I guess we're getting a backstory.
Not quite.
Okay, what are we getting?
Actually, in the future.
In the future?
Or I don't want to say.
He doesn't have one.
Right. This is going to be past his death. It's going to feature Michael B. Jordan as Apollo Creed's son. And he is going to ask his dad's old friend Rocky for help learning to be a boxer. Because he's an up-and-coming boxer himself.
And that will allow us to spend probably the better part of 15 minutes throughout our film being able to rehash the classic Rocky IV by putting flashbacks into the film.
I just don't know that I want to see a Creed movie, an Apollo Creed movie without Carl Weathers. I mean...
Well, you're going to get him in flashback form.
Maybe.
Oh, I guarantee it.
I tell you what I'm hoping for is that the most used and worn pair of red, white, and blue boxing shorts gets passed down once again.
Yeah.
You will almost undoubtedly get that.
I mean, come on. These things got to be pretty threadbare by now.
One would think. Let's go ahead and get into our superhero news. Jeff, we start with you in DC Comics. They and Warner Brothers kind of getting ready to go with a Suicide Squad film. Have they been talking about who's going to be in it, who might be in it?
Yeah, and I know we have a follow-up question about some more rumors, but everything about this so far, besides they're making it, it's just a rumor.
Okay.
Like Jared Leto, rumored he may play the Joker.
Okay.
Margot Robbie, who was in Wolf of Wall Street, rumored to be in talks to play Harley Quinn.
Okay.
And then either Jay Courtney or whatever, it's a three-letter word.
Jai Courtney.
Yeah, he's was in the bad guy in Jack Reacher and he could be in Terminator Genesis.
He's actually a very good actor.
He is. He is rumored to be playing Deadshot.
Okay.
If you notice, these are all villains, which the premise of Suicide Squad is a team of villains put together by a government agency to carry out suicide missions to work off time of their sentences.
Right. Okay. Well, rumor, and
right.
more rumor. One of these days, we'll actually figure out. Is even the fact that they're making the movie a rumor?
No, I believe
that's confirmed.
David Ayer, the writer-director of Fury, that we all enjoyed, will be the guy behind Suicide Squad.
Okay, so we know that. We have yet to attach stars to it.
Exactly.
Jacob, earlier this year, Guardians of the Galaxy, so far the year's biggest moneymaker. Again, Hunger Games coming out. We got The Hobbit a little bit later on in some of the other films, so we still got a little ways to go. But right now, Guardians of the Galaxy, the biggest moneymaker in the box office in 2014. And there are plans as we look ahead. James Gunn actually kind of looking way ahead, isn't he?
Yeah, he recently said he already, when he was filming Guardians of the Galaxy, he already had the idea for Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay.
And so now he's been working on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, Marvel hasn't even said that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to happen, but he's already at least working on some ideas, so...
All right, well, we've seen very little, we saw very little crossover. We talked a little bit about the Tesseract. We saw, of course, the Collector in Guardians of the Galaxy, but they really didn't play around a whole lot with the Avengers universe. Has he addressed that?
Well, they did. They said that the sequel is not going to tie into, Avengers Infinity War. Basically, he was saying that Guardians 2 is going to try to expand out more into like a cosmic, trying to expand the Marvel universe into more of a cosmic field than just the Avengers universe. So.
I don't care where they go. I'm going.
Yeah, I read, just to expand on that as well, I read a piece that said that Marvel they weren't really expecting to make it to be this big a hit,
right.
But since it was, they're like, you know what?
Let's keep going with
Go with it.
Ride the horse till it bucks,
Exactly.
man.
Exactly. They would have used it as sort of, tied it more closely to the Avengers and everything else. But since it made a bank on its own, they're like, well, let's go hog wild with it.
What did we figure out? It's made well over $400 million. I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. It was. I mean, wow. It took off even beyond what I thought. And you were the first initially excited about this, Jeff.
I know.
I got thrilled. I went back. I saw it again and saw parts of it a couple of other occasions from our friends down in Alabaster, and I'm like, I can't wait for this thing to come out on DVD and take it home, watch it again.
I know,
it's
me
just
too.
that good. And then you get where we've kind of stumbled, Jeff, between comics, movies based upon them. Sometimes they don't mesh. One of the farthest reaches, I think all of us agree, even the ones that are not here, would be the Fantastic Four, and even when they do the reboot, apparently that's not going to change.
Yeah, it appears that Fox Studios still doesn't understand just exactly what the fantastic in the title means, and they will once again totally screw up Dr. Doom.
Ah, excellent.
Because Toby Cabell, who plays the film's version of Dr. Doom, he was talking to Collider, and he sort of revealed what many people in these days of films with talking raccoons and talking trees making billions of dollars will find it a little bit disconcerting. He says, I'm excited to see it too. The only thing I can tease you about is what I worked on most was the voice, because nobody, even in the cartoons when I was watching them, I was like, so where is he from? He goes, but there's a bit of a change. I'll reveal. He's Victor Domashev, not Victor Von Doom in our story, and I'm sure I'll be sent to jail for telling you that. The Doom in ours, he's a programmer, a very antisocial programmer, and on blogging sites, I'm Doom. So it's not Dr. Doom, it's Blogter Doom. And another couple of disturbing words that he used to describe Josh Trank's vision for the film.
Yeah.
Lo-fi and ultra real, which are words you really want to associate with a film called Fantastic Four.
Uh-huh. Yeah, building that one up real good. And then there's the other quasi-disappointment, Spider-Man. Jacob, apparently they're playing a little bit with the storyline there too. In what way?
Well, if you weren't sure that Sony had no idea what it was doing with the Spider-Man universe until now, you're about to find out.
It's about to be confirmed for you?
It's about to be confirmed. They are looking at working on a Spider-Man-free Aunt May movie. It's going to be, in the past, it's going to be, apparently Aunt May is a secret agent, and she is going to be doing espionage and some signs in the vein of AMC's Mad Men. That sounds about as bad as it reads.
Oh, it sounded worse than it read.
I mean, it's the worst idea for a movie I think I've ever heard.
You said that, Jeff and I just looked at each other, and Jeff just busted out laughing immediately.
I mean, that right there is some, and I ain't kidding. That's all it is.
Mean, it's awful.
This is not a good idea, and whoever is in charge over at Sony needs to be taken out back and hit with a Spider-Man web and just put up against the wall for perpetuity, because you're wrong.
The sad thing is Spider-Man is a franchise that you could really do a lot with, and it's just like they are bound and determined to make everyone hate that franchise.
Sony needs to punt this back to Marvel and Disney.
Yeah.
They really do.
It's like they're taking the wrong cues from everybody else. They're like, well, Marvel's got Agent Carter. That's a period piece.
Yeah.
I guess we could do Aunt May as a spy. That sounds good.
Yeah, considering the fact that nothing in her backstory that we know of would put her anywhere near being a spy.
No.
What if Dr. Octopus really lived in the ocean and squirted ink?
Oh, my gosh. Jeff, let's move on. X-Men Apocalypse. They're going to take advantage of the fame of two of the cast members when the new movie comes out. You got any details on this?
Yeah, according to the Hollywood Reporter, looks like X-Men Apocalypse may center on two characters not named Wolverine.
Aha.
Yeah, looks like their sources are claiming that the film will look to take full advantage of both Jennifer Lawrence and Michael Fassbender's combined star power by crafting a story built around Mystique and Magneto and how they might just be in love or something.
As long as the story's good, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, even the early X-Men films sort of hinted at that maybe there was something. Although it wasn't romantic, it was almost sort of weird and off-putting between them.
That's true, too. It's going to be one odd relationship if they work it out.
Right, and then First Class sort of posited it as a war between two father figures, between, Xavier and Eric.
Mm-hmm.
and now that they're going to take it on down the romance.
All right.
I mean, if they weirded it up a little bit, I can understand because
yeah, really.
there are a lot of different power dynamics there. We'll see.
All right. Jacob, you and I have seen this. Jeff, I'm sure you have too. The new extended trailer for Avengers Age of Ultron. Thoughts on it, Jacob?
I mean, again, like I said before, it's good. I'm excited about the movie. I don't know that this trailer made me any more excited. It doesn't really reveal a whole lot about what's going to go on. It's like, hey, here are the Avengers. All right, cool. Come see us in May.
What all they really kind of did is, to me, they just added a couple of more scenes into it. Effectively, you had the existing trailer, and they said, well, we'll throw this little scene in there, and it's very obvious now that it is James Spader's voice as Ultron.
Right.
Which before you were kind of going, okay, I know James Spader voiced it. I didn't really catch it before, but okay. This time it was very obvious.
Yeah, they seem to have toned down the electronic sibilance for the voice. But yeah, it was. I noticed the one scene sort of goes on for an extra second or two.
Yeah.
And then
it didn't really break a whole lot of new ground. At this point in time, we're as Ryan would say, just give me the dang film.
Right. If they could release the same trailer 4 times, and I'm still
end up watching the trailer. And come on, we just want to see it now.
Uh,
All right, away from superheroes, Jeff, to you. We have waited for The Conjuring 2 because they decided last month that they wanted to come up with the film Annabelle instead. But now we're getting word as to when the actual release date for the actual sequel is going to hit theaters.
Yeah, it originally been set for a pre-Halloween release on the 23rd of October next year. But now New Line has pushed it back for a prime summer release in June 10th of 2016.
Well, they had to get it out of 2015 because it's going to get swamped.
Oh, my gosh, you kidding me next year?
You're looking at next year's lineup, and good gosh almighty, that thing is just, it's packed.
Well, given what Marvel and DC had just, announced over the past couple of months, every year.
Yeah.
From here on out.
At this point in time, you're just going to have to throw in the horror movie wherever you can find it. Jacob, how can we put together a link between these films? Fast and Furious, Bourne, and Conjuring 2.
Well, a former Fast and Furious director who is set to be the director of Conjuring 2 and also is set to direct the Bourne, the sequel to the Bourne spinoff, which the Jeremy Renner, which has been put on hold for the moment,
thankfully,
is reportedly going to come back to the Fast and Furious franchise.
Okay.
So,
and I say thankfully as far as the Bourne thing because Paul Greengrass is back and Matt Damon is back, which means we actually get Bourne in the Bourne series, which makes me happy. Not that Jeremy Renner did a bad job. I just think that they should not have called it Bourne because it wasn't.
Right. But there you go. If you liked his Jeremy Lin or Justin Lin's Fast and Furious movies.
Well, we all know who's going to be thrilled about that.
Yeah.
Ryan.
He's back.
Jeff, let's go to another horror film. This one, thriller, done by the person who gave us The Sixth Sense. What's up with a film called The Visit?
Well, looks like Universal has picked up the rights to Mr. M. Night Shyamalan's horror thriller, The Visit, for September 11th.
I keep thinking to myself he's due for a hit.
Of next year, I assume. And the story itself will center on a brother and sister who are sent for a week to their grandparents' remote Pennsylvania farm, where they discover that their grandparents are involved in something deeply disturbing, and apparently it's already been shot with cast members under wraps. So
he's being overly secretive. Well, one would think Bruce Willis or Samuel L. Jackson's in there.
I promise this one won't suck.
See, don't make that promise.
I'll get better.
Jacob, from horror to comedy. Adam Sandler back. This time, movie seems a little bit less like it's going for the cheap laughs, a little bit more like trying to come up with something heartwarming. What do you know about the movie The Cobbler?
Yeah, it's Adam Sandler. He is a shoe repair person, or cobbler, if you will. And someone brings in a pair of shoes one day, and who he decides to put on for some reason because he wears the same size shoe. And he finds out that he can, by wearing other people's shoes, he can become them. I really can't just say any more than that. Then it just.
The storyline could have potential, but you know where this is going to go. He's going to go for the cheap laughs when he sees some woman walk in there with a nice figure.
Yeah, I mean, it looks ridiculous, really. Like it just, maybe going to be good, but I don't see this being a good movie.
All right. Jacob,
I wasn't impressed with the trailer.
One more time, Jacob. This one dealing with the as-yet untitled new Bond film. Bond 24 is the unofficial title, and they keep adding new cast members. Who have they added now?
Well, this is one casting that I've wanted since the first time I've seen this actor on screen. Christoph Waltz has joined Bond 24. We don't know what he's going to be.
Almost undoubtedly a villain.
Probably going to be a villain, and I can't wait. Like I've been wanting him in the Bond movie since I first seen him. So
have they said anything about when they want to try and get this film out in theaters?
November 6, 2015.
Okay, so they're going to have to start getting cracking on this thing then.
Yeah, it's not long.
One more note here, and this one attributed to our great listener, sometime contributor Daniel, said that in kind of a movie-related item, really more than anything else, that DreamWorks Animation reportedly is in talks to go into a merger with the toy maker Hasbro. A move apparently taking place about a month after the talks with the Asian company SoftBank to acquire the group fell through. Hasbro talking about paying $35 a share, about 57% above what the stock for the company closed at just a couple of days ago. This is a multi-billion-dollar deal, but here's the deal. We've seen Hasbro games and toys made into movies here. Battleship, anyone? Not to great success. I'm a little worried that that's what they're going to do. They're just going to start throwing toy-based games into animated films at us, and it's not going to be great. But we'll wait and see. Again, nothing has been signed. It's just in talks right now. We'll see whether it actually happens. When we come back, we'll talk about what's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray next Tuesday and get into some TV news as the Entertainment Roundtable continues.
Hope you got your popcorn, because we're back to the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
As we come back here, TV theme to the show Community. We'll be talking about that coming up in just a little bit in a short segment here as we get right into television news. But first, what could you bring home come Tuesday? Anything Christmas gift worthy? Not really. Several films do come out, though. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. We talked about this. This was a film that was drafted and just fell flat on its face in the Summer Movie League draft. If I Stay is also out Tuesday. So is The Wind Rises, 22 Jump Street, and So It Goes, and Twister 2, otherwise known as Into the Storm. I couldn't find any TV series releases of note this coming Tuesday, so there you go. All right, let's lead off here. On ABC, not really having a whole heck of a lot of luck with comedies other than Modern Family, which leads us to some cancellation news. Jacob, what is the Alphabet Network yanked?
The social media-centered Selfie has been canceled.
Sounded like a bad idea from the beginning.
Yeah, they're not going to go beyond its initial 13-episode order. Whether or not they air all 13 episodes, who knows? But
they could just air repeats of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'd be a happy guy. Did anybody see this? Did you watch any episode, one episode at all?
No.
I totally whiffed on it. Had no idea. Okay. Speaking of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Jeff staying with there, and specifically Agent Carter, they keep adding to the cast. And again, January, 4th, 5th, I think is what the preview or premiere date is, somewhere in there, 5th, 6th, something like that.
January.
Yeah, early January anyway. But they got another person. They have who have they added and for what role?
It looks like a gentleman who plays a baddie on The Americans by the name of Costa Ronan, the actor, will play the character Anton Vanko. And Vanko's storyline was introduced, if you recall, in Iron Man 2,
right,
where he was sort of mentioned as Howard Stark's business partner and the father of, yes,
him.
Totally. Mickey Rourke played his son, yes.
Right.
Whiplash. Exactly.
Whiplash, thank you, yeah. Somewhere January 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in that area.
So we're going to get
they're having a lot more luck with that than they are in comedy.
I assume a bit more detail on the backstory of Howard and Vanko's history together.
Yeah, that'll be cool. To the Fox Network, long in the tooth competition reality show American Idol, Jacob got more movement within the judging lineup. Who's in, who's out? What do we know?
Looks like Randy Jackson has decided that American Idol has started to sound a little pitchy, dog, and decided to leave the show.
Nice.
All right, so I don't watch the show, but correct me if I'm wrong. That means all of the original judges are now gone?
Yeah, they're all gone. I mean, Randy Jackson had kind of stepped away as a judge and became like a mentor but he's not going to be back on the 14th season.
So either way, he was still a part of the show, but he's not coming back at all.
Yeah, he's not back at all.
Okay, gotcha. Jeff, to CBS's Top Comedy, announced the loss of one of their actors. Specifically, in this case, they lost her voice. What's the story?
Yeah, character actress Carol Ann Susi, who played the voice of the unseen Miss Wolowitz on The Big Bang Theory, passed away Tuesday in Los Angeles after a brief battle with cancer.
That's a shame to hear, but they've got the perfect stand-in because the girl who plays Bernadette does that voice to a T. All she'd have to do is go into the studio and do that. She's done it on screen. She's done it visibly, which shook up Howard in the show. So, yeah, I just say have her do it. She could do it quite well, I think. Otherwise, I don't know how they could explain it.
I'll be honest. I don't think I ever saw a single episode where she was featured.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, they're going to have to explain it, obviously, in some way, shape, or form, unless they have, because she's never appeared on camera. They've never had Howard's mother appear on camera. So all you got to do is just find somebody who can kind of come close to the voice. So
either that or just never really, she's on the phone or, just never have her say anything.
And I do watch the show. My wife and I still do watch the show. They're going to have to explain it because of the fact that the guy who owned the comic book store, Stewart, lost the comic book store and actually moved in as a live-in, kind of a nursemaid to Howard's mother. So, yeah, it's going to have to be explained. They've got no
Probably
choice.
so.
AMC, as we move out of networks onto cable, decided that one of their existing original series is deserving of another go-round. Jacob, what are they keeping and for how long?
Got Hell on Wheels is coming back for a 5th and final season, although it's going to do a very AMC thing and have that one season play out over 2 years.
What a shock. Jeff, the upcoming show, the prequel to Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, they are adding to their cast. Who and for what?
Yes, Julie Ann Emery, who appeared on Fargo, and Jeremy Shamos from Birdman, the film, have been confirmed as members of the cast of Better Call Saul, where they will play Betsy and Craig Kettleman, who have been described as the world's squarest outlaws.
All right.
Interesting note, they originally were slated to appear in just the first episode, but everyone involved said their performances were so strong, they decided to keep them on.
Going to keep them around. I forget who I gave this to. I think it was to you, Jeff. TNT, a couple of original shows. One of them, Mark Paul Gosselaar, is called Franklin and Bash. Does that show have a future?
No, looks like TNT is pulling the plug on Franklin and Bash. So 4th and final season on the way.
I watched, I think, the first 2 episodes and went, and stopped watching
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. It just wrapped up last month. It's 4th and final season.
So it will not come around again. Sorry.
Yes.
But apparently they're not done with the axing of shows anyway.
Nope. They also canceled a show called Perception, which will end after the conclusion.
Conclusion.
They're going to close the book on it.
I need closure.
Of the 3rd season early next year.
Or in this case, I need clusion. USA Network worked up and had some mixed success with several original dramas, and they've been paring them down recently a bit. So what's going to happen with the government agent house-based show Graceland, Jacob?
Apparently they like it. It's coming back for a third season with 13 episodes.
Not a bad show. Kind of drifted away from it. I'm starting to find myself drifting away from shows. We mentioned The Americans earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
I was really into that, but I've kind of drifted away from it when it first came out. So now, whatever. I'm doing that with Sleepy Hollow now.
Yeah, I've sort of done that with Sleepy Hollow as well.
Yeah, and
kind of miss it though.
I've done it with Graceland too. I've just kind of gone away from it. Whatever. There's just better things on, which I'm happy to say that there are better things on.
I know, right? There's so much to choose from on TV. There's quality these days.
From A&E to Vegas seems like kind of an odd jump, and even odder, Jeff, when you think about the fact that it's going to be Duck Dynasty making the jump. How are they going to Vegas?
Yeah, that Robertson family is expanding their brand to a musical in Las Vegas entitled The Duck Commander Family Musical, according to the New York Times. Yeah.
Can any of them sing?
Well, the good news is that actors will play the family in a 90-minute show following their path to success.
From what I'm told, this has got some people out in Vegas pretty upset.
I don't know, but apparently several Broadway producers are interested in getting this thing off the ground.
And the fake beard companies are all up. They're loving this.
They're some happy people. No
sales on fake beards are going to go up like crazy.
Oh, man, where do we go from here? How about to HBO? And the show The Sopranos, if you really, really liked it, you might be in some luck. And it has nothing to do with what happened after the screen went black in the finale in the diner. But you could actually get a little bit of the before the series story. What's the full deal on this, Jeff?
Yeah, David Chase was speaking with the Associated Press when he said, and I quote, "Even if I did it, it wouldn't be The Sopranos that was on the air. Obviously, at least one person is gone that we would need.
Sure.
So there are a couple of eras that would be interesting for me to talk about Newark, New Jersey. One would be the late 60s, early 70s, about all the racial animosity or the beginning, the really true beginning of the flood of drugs. So he might be interested in doing a show set in New Jersey in the period of the late 60s, early 70s, not necessarily tied at all to The Sopranos. But
he'd probably work in a reference at some point in time, I'm sure. Even if it was just at the very end of this particular series, he probably would work in a reference.
Okay.
I can almost see it. Jacob over to the Starz Network, working up a TV series based upon a movie series run by Sam Raimi and starring one Bruce Campbell. And I'm looking forward to the details on this one because this actually sounds like fun.
Yeah, Starz has picked up the show. It's going to be titled Ash vs. Evil Dead. And it's being done by Sam Raimi, and Bruce Campbell is back to star. So it's going to be kind of a spin-off series.
Came across it the other day, had to stop and watch it. Came across Army of Darkness on TV the other day, and I just went, yep, I'm in. Just sat there and watched it and just laughed and had a great time. I can't wait.
It's crazy. When I was in Nashville about 3 weeks ago, I went to see Evil Dead the musical.
I didn't know they did a musical.
Yeah, it's actually pretty entertaining.
That's good stuff. I wonder if we'll ever get a chance to see that on TV at some point in time. Let's see here. Where else are we going to go? How about the Showtime? Jacob talking a couple of their shows, Homeland and The Affair. Do they have any kind of futures over there?
Yeah, they both got picked up for a respective 5th and 2nd season in 2015.
All right, so if you're fans of that, and of course we know that the Emmy Awards certainly are fans there. When Yahoo takes over the old NBC show Community next season, season 6, a couple of new faces in and around the city of Greendale. Who and in what roles, Jeff?
Looks like Paget Brewster from Criminal Minds and Keith David, who famously fought Roddy Piper in an alleyway in They Live, are joining the cast Community, which returns for its 6th season next year on Yahoo exclusively.
All right.
Yep.
Daniel checked in again on television. Several items. I noted a couple of them. VH1 has decided to revive the old MTV reality show that focused on Ozzy, his wife, and 2 kids. They're reviving the Osbournes. Why?
I don't know.
Ozzy got to eat, yo.
One would think he's making pretty good off the royalties. Or did he just, snort it up all his nose, all of it up his nose?
I don't know if he could aim that well anymore.
Yeah. And NBC, they had been doing so good. There's actually stuff on NBC I want to watch now. And then they announced that they're coming out with a redo of the old Robin Leach hosted show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Really?
Sure. Why not?
Did they move away from the person that was actually making good decisions at NBC and said, "Hey, moron, what do you want to make?"
I'll be honest. As long as they keep Hannibal and Constantine going, I don't really.
Lifestyles of Rich and Famous is something that I have absolutely zero desire to watch.
Maybe if they do,
maybe they like got they got the moron to take a nap, and they got like a bunch of like good stuff passed, and then they're like he woke up and it's like, okay, well now we have to go back to
now we got to go back to crap.
As long as this is leading to a Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous Hannibal crossover, all is forgiven. As Hannibal devours his way through the Rich and Famous.
All right, I do have to ask this question now that we are talking about this. Is Robin Leach even still alive?
I don't even know.
I have no idea. I'm going to try and look it up and see. In the meantime, have you been able to figure out what our rundown is as far as our updated fantasy league for the winter?
I have. Currently, me, Jeff, and you, Steve, the three of us, have nothing on the board at the moment. None of our movies have come out. Josh is in 3rd place with $21 million with Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, okay.
Ryan is in 2nd with $65 million with his Interstellar pick, and David is in the lead at with $98 million with Big Hero 6 and The Best of Me. So,
wow, I didn't realize The Best of Me had done that well because it's already out of the top 10.
Yeah, it's $25 million right about.
All right, so he's doing pretty good. How much is okay? We mentioned Big Hero 6, $56.2 million over the weekend. What's it up to now? What's it been doing through the week?
$73 million.
That's made some pretty good money through the course of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it pays to be the only real kid-friendly movie in theater.
Okay, and let's see. Next week, Hunger Games comes out. As I remember, I know it was drafted first. That was Josh, right?
That was Josh.
All right, so Josh will hit the board next week, and
In probably a big way.
Blow everyone out of the water, no doubt about it. By the way, Robin Leach is still alive.
Nice.
He was born in 1941 in London, England, and he is still around and kicking. I wonder if he will be a part of the new NBC Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Let's hope not. Let's see here. What do we got planned? Do we have any plans we want to try and check out anything this week? Or are we going to take this weekend off and get a breather and be prepared for next weekend at Hunger Games?
I mean, if maybe.
Just
a lot of big games tomorrow. I'm going to be watching football probably.
Yeah, I get funny feeling probably so. All right. Thank you so much for checking us out. Check us out online, facebook.com/The Entertainment Roundtable. We constantly keep you updated up there. Jeff, thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend
You
and
too,
the
buddy.
games. Jacob, enjoy your weekend and the games as well, my friend.
Will do.
And we will talk to you again on this show 1 week from today.